Well, we'll go ahead and get started. This is going to be a recorded webinar, so if for whatever reason you need to drop out or you relate to the show, we will be recording this and sending it out later to everybody. So you can always watch it again at a later date. So this week's webinar is all about our email editing heavy hitters, and those are the emailer and the EasyBuilder. So we're going to go over kind of everything. First, let's do an intro. My name is Melissa Felich. I'm the operations manager here for Green Rope. I've been here since 2005. I'm really excited. I have not done a webinar in quite a long time though, so you'll have to bear with me a bit. You can connect with me via email, just Melissa Felich, M Felich. You can also reach me at melissa@greenrope.com or connect with me on LinkedIn. And of course, our support team is always available if you have questions or concerns throughout your subscription with us, and also about the emailer, EasyBuilder, and 10. So let's go ahead and get started. So during this webinar, we're going to go over quite a few things. The kind of theme of the webinar is the number 6. That was just accidental, but you'll see kind of the 6 main points that we're going to cover are the email EasyBuilder, an overview of it, building a template. We're going to do an overview of the emailer as well, the benefits of both, the key differences of both, best practices, and then that 7th bonus round, we'll do some Q&A. But like I said, Kayla is in our chat kind of monitoring questions if you guys have any along the way. So let's get started with the emailer first. And the reason why I like to start with the emailer first is because I like to think of the EasyBuilder first. I like to think of the EasyBuilder as a template builder. I know we call it an email EasyBuilder, but if you think about it as a template builder, it's a lot easier because this is where you create the outline for your future emails. So it's located under the communicate section, EasyBuilder. And this is kind of what it looks like when you first log in. I'm going to be going back and forth between the slides and the system to show you guys live demonstrations of things as well. So in 6 easy steps to creating a template, the first thing we want to do is add your from information here. So the from, name and email address. One thing I like to point out, and we'll cover this kind of in our best practices as well, is use a name, use Sheena at instead of sales at or info at. You'll get more read rates that way. You'll get a better deliverability. Next up is your subject line and pre-header. Your subject line, 30 to 40 characters with a sense of urgency to entice readers to open your email. And then of course, create a pre-header. Make sure that you have a pre-header here. It's not a requirement to send, but it is really great because it offers the chance to give the reader a preview of your content. So these are some best practice tips just sprinkled in here. Next up is the theme, the template. So you'll want to choose, excuse me, I'm totally on the wrong page, you guys. I'm so sorry. They're very similar, aren't they? The from and subject line and pre-header. And now, of course, we are getting into the theme. So here you can create either select the theme that's already been selected or created for you, or you can choose one of our templates that's been created. If you have templates that you've already created, you can select them here as well. So let's just play with this birthday one because it's a pretty easy one. So once you have selected your theme or your template, you'll want to update your default settings and sections. So this area here, and we're going to cover this kind of twice, these 4 sections here. This area allows you to create your default colors, your fonts, your spacing, using this drag and drop, which again, we'll cover in just a second, a little bit more in detail. You can add and move specific content sections. Remember that this is your template. So all of this content, the verbiage in here, the links, any kind of pictures that we're adding in here, this is hard coded into the template that then you can use later to add content. So if you're adding text in here and saving it, that text is going to be seen in the emailer later when you're wanting to change things. And that can cause some headaches for folks when you want to change that text, but you can't because that's part of your template. So this is really just the bones of things. And all of this, if you add an image in here, just be aware of that this is kind of, right now we're just creating the template, right? Like this is the template builder, the email EasyBuilder. This is a great way to customize any previously created templates or one of the pre-existing templates like this one, and really customize it and make it your own that you can use later on. Next up is images and links. So add any links to your content, import images from your media library. I'll show you how to do that in just a second as well. This is your template content. Additional email specific content can be added to the template later. So like we were just talking about. So any personalization you want to add in the emailer. This is mostly an outline of your email. The individual section settings, this is something I wanted to show you guys. So we're going to kind of go over everything a little bit twice because I think this is a bit of the confusing parts. So we have this one that's a birthday, but if I wanted to change anything in this particular area, I can change the sections by itself. So this is really cool. This was added about, I want to say about a year ago, that you can change all of this in a particular section. You can also move these around. You can delete them. So this makes it fully customizable. Even if it's one of the system templates, you can make it all your own. Add your own logos, things like that. If I'm going too fast, please go ahead and drop a line in here. We will do some Q&A. And like I said, Kayla is in there to help answer any questions that you might have. Oh, so we go. The other important thing in the EasyBuilder is the save. So we have two save options here. We have save and save to media library. Now, the difference here is that the save green button saves your template to your template library. So that means that you can pull it up here later and you can use it here. This does not make it so that you can add content to it in the EasyBuilder. You need to do that first by saving it to your media library. So once you save it to your media library, it makes it so that you can pull it up in different areas inside your account, such as the emailer for future editing. That's a really important note to have, because if you save it here, of course you can pull it open later and save it again. But if you only do one or the other, that can cause a lot of problems. If you save it to your media library but don't save it here, you won't be able to edit it later in your. So let me say that again. If you save it to your media library without saving it to the template library here, without pushing this green button, later, if you need to change the bones of your template, you won't be able to do that because it's gone. It hasn't been saved. When you exit out of this, it does give you a warning saying, hey, are you sure you want to exit without saving? Make sure that you always save. So it's kind of a twofer, right? So you're going to save your template and then also make sure you save it to your media library so that you can use it later in the account in the emailer. So those four main sections are the key features of the EasyBuilder. The settings, start with our basic template and then make the modifications to colors and fonts in settings tab. Images under the image tab. Again, that's where you're going to add any images from your media library, or drag and drop them. I wanted to show you guys that because it's pretty cool. If you haven't used this before, especially like these stock photos, and we're always adding new ones. If you guys have any suggestions and want something specific in here, you can pull these are in everybody's account. You can pull these over and use these. This drag and drop system is so easy to use. Of course, if you make a mistake, you can just Control Z and remove it. You can add them anywhere you want. So that's to be noted as well. So you want to make sure that you remove any that you don't want. If you have an image that you want to replace that's already in your account, simply use one of the files in here. Oops, that one doesn't exist. This is a test account, so it's been pretty old. The comment area is also something that's really cool here. I don't have one that's saved. Let me pull up an example. You can see it here. This is an area where you can take notes and leave messages for yourself or other collaborators as you design your message. So if you want to let the designer know to add a different footer or change button colors, or that you just really love the template, you can add that comment in there. So that's pretty cool. So the EasyBuilder benefits, the simplicity. The one thing that our clients are always saying is how easy the EasyBuilder is to use. That easy drag to drop or drag and drop functionality that we just saw in the image selector allows you to create exactly what you want in just minutes. Optimal rendering. So the EasyBuilder ensures that your template renders for all major email clients, so Gmail, Outlook, in all browsers and mobile devices. So we're constantly testing. In the preview, as you can see here, you can see what your email is going to look like, your template, excuse me, on different mobile devices. So this allows you to create really professional looking emails, no matter how quickly you're creating them and where your recipients are viewing them from. And then with that, the usability, right? Like there's no need to understand HTML or CSS knowledge when it comes to creating beautiful templates. With the EasyBuilder, it's super simple. The editor does all of the heavy lifting for you. All you have to do is basically point and click and tell it what you want it to do. Next, we're going to go over the emailer, and that is because now we're going to add all the guts to the email. So the emailer is where you create the actual content of your emails. Use one of your custom templates that you just created using the EasyBuilder, or we also have hundreds of different templates that you can use and customize. To an extent, there's not as much customization options available in the emailer as the EasyBuilder. It is also located on the Communicate tab under emailer. So now we'll go to that correct page. Right here. So the 6 easy steps to creating an email is the same ones that we had in the first place, with the from and the subject line and the header, same as the EasyBuilder. So those first impressions are really important. These are exactly what your clients are going to see and entice them to open your email. You can create the best looking email in the EasyBuilder, import it into the emailer, have spot on content, but if these 3 things are not enticing enough, it won't even be seen, right? So we need to make sure that that's has a sense of urgency, has a sense of purpose. We'll cover all of that in a second too when we talk about best practices. Next up is the WYSIWYG. So the what you see is what you get editor. This is a lot of exactly what you see. What you see is what you get. You can add links and articles, images here. You'll see this throughout the system. I know you guys are pretty familiar with the editor as well, because you see it in tickets and when you're creating different workflows and journeys and forms, and everywhere you see a version of it. Sometimes you'll have less options available, but here on the editor, this is the prime WYSIWYG. You can add call to action buttons, placeholders, customize your font, change the color options. So similar to what we saw in the sections on the EasyBuilder, where you could change colors, you can choose different color options. It is limited. This is what I was talking about, where the limitations come into play. So you have a smaller window of customization when you're emailing or editing in the emailer, right? So that's why you've already created the bones of the content in the EasyBuilder. And then you wouldn't have to worry about this because it'd be exactly how you want it before you even got in here. You would open it up and load your EasyBuilder here using the open. The fourth step to creating a perfect email is adding your images, links, articles, placeholders. So add customization for your individual emails with specific broadcasting needs. So images, links, fonts, buttons for that email. So remember, the EasyBuilder is the template, the outline, and the emailer is the individual content that you're sending to your contacts. And of course, save your content throughout the editing process. Two of my favorite features in the email editor are of course, save, but these two, so sorry about that. The quick save, if I open up a message here, let's see. Now I can quick save. I do this when I'm working in an email every few minutes. I just click the quick save, it saves it to my media library, and it's done. I know that if for whatever reason, if something happens to if my computer, refreshes, if it dies all of a sudden, my content still would be there. I also love the auto save. This saves your message every, I believe, 15 seconds, but I'm still using this as well. I don't like it when I've worked really hard on content and all of a sudden it's gone. So I'm constantly using these, and I use saves throughout whenever I'm working in any kind of system. So that's really important to save your content. Next and final step is the test and send. We're going to cover this again in just a second in the kind of the best practices. Test. That's my one. If there's any takeaway from this webinar at all, it's to test your emails. So test your emails to multiple contacts for reviewing before sending. Broadcast to, send to different contacts that can view in different browsers, different email clients, different computers, different devices before you send out your content. Broadcasts, and when you're ready to send, you want to make sure that you're sending to the right groups. Use your filter options to ensure that you're broadcasting to the right lists at the right time by using the segmentation and the delayed options down here. So let's go over those a little bit more here too. So the emailer benefits, advanced sending options, what we were just talking about. You can send to multiple groups, to specific audiences, and at scheduled date and times using the advanced sending options available on the emailer page. So you can see, you can use this filter option, and you can create all kinds of filters to ensure that you're getting your content out to the right people at the right time. So time meaning be aware of your time zones that you're sending to. If your audience is all on the East Coast and you're on the West Coast, you want to make sure that you're aware of what time you're sending to them. Another benefit of the emailer versus the editor, versus the EasyBuilder is social integration. So when you're sending here, you can post to your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter accounts that you have integrated in with the system. And then finally, the tracking. On the tracking page here, when you communicate, you can track your broadcasts individually or comparatively against each other. See your reads, your clicks, your bounces, your unsubscribes. We can see here. There might not be any content in that particular broadcast, but it only went to me. These are key differences, right? Because in the editor for the EasyBuilder, we have this ability to send a test, and we have the ability to send a broadcast, but those are immediate sends, so that you can't delay them. They cannot be synced up with any of your social networking pages, and they are not tracked. So that's a key difference, is that if you send something through here, it will not be tracked. So best practices. So these are kind of my go-to best practices. Know your audience. Having an understanding of your recipient is one of the most important considerations to have when creating the template and adding content. Some food for thought that I always think about before getting started is how and when do my recipients prefer to communicate? So again, considering that time zone. Excuse me. What makes this group of contacts different from your others? So are you sending a promo? Are you sending account information? Are you sending, like, what are you sending and what makes these contacts different? That helps you with personalization. And what are their pain points and how will your products and services solve them? So these are kind of my 3 questions that I ask myself before creating first my template and then my email. My second tip for best practices for email creation is, like I said, test. I cannot stress the importance of testing enough to multiple domains across different devices. And of course, using A/B testing. This is a great tool. Using A/B testing to create and test different images, subject lines, your CTAs, your call to actions, and more. You know, if you wanted to, the big one we see is subject lines, because that's your first impression. So you send out content with, 10% with one subject line and 10% with another, and whichever one has the higher open rate, that's the subject line that will go to the rest of the contacts in that group. We use that one all the time. Next up, personalize your content. Personalization is not new, but it is essential to getting good open rates, increase conversions and engagement rates by making your readers feel special and heard, right? Because they are special, and we want to allow them to have a voice, and that's done by personalizing the content that we send to them. And that starts with creating your template and then creating your content. Consider what data you have in your CRM. Do you have names? Do you have addresses? Do you have cities? Do you have birthdays? And how to use it to customize your content for each individual on your list. And if you don't have that information, we're going to skip down to use interactive elements. So using surveys, feedback requests, or quizzes can help increase engagement, because that information that is collected during those interactive emails can be used later to personalize content and further engage and get more conversions, right? Which is the goal. And then of course, quality over quantity, skipping back up. The send button is powerful. So it's literally making digital communication available at your fingertips. So that can sometimes be a blessing and a curse at the same time. We don't want to be sending more emails and then having our customers get inundated with your emails, because that can hurt your message and the effectiveness of it. You know, sending too many too frequently really will result in higher unsubscribe rates, lower open rates, and of course, the much worse scenario would be spam complaints when they hit the spam button, which is unsubscribed, and you see that inside your account as well. So start slow and test how your recipients respond to your sending habits before you increase. So those are kind of my best practice tips. If you need help with anything, here are kind of a list of our different help articles. We have a lot more. These are my favorite ones. In our help articles, we have the EasyBuilder that kind of goes over an overview and how to use it, how it can differ from the emailer. Creating an email or creating a new email goes over both the EasyBuilder and the emailer. In your account up here, I'm sure you're all used to it, is this Guide Me button that takes you through different tutorials. Creating an email template using the EasyBuilder is one of my favorites. Takes you through the entire process step by step. And then adding the EasyBuilder template to your media library. So that's that same process that we were talking about that's so important. Videos, and Kayla, who's doing our comments or our responding to all your comments and questions right now, is in charge of our amazing videos, and she's always creating great ones. And 3 of my favorites are the email builder quick video, That's the emailer, the email campaigns and email tracking, right? Because the tracking is really powerful. That also helps us to identify how and when to send future emails. It's important to be reviewing that content. And then cheat sheets, email marketing. So it goes over both as well. So it gives you a couple of sheets of have in your back pocket to know exactly what to do for both of those. Awesome. Well, you guys have been fantastic. And one more time, I will be sending out this recording for you guys to review. Kayla's going to add some zhuzh to the intro and outro for me, and then we will get that sent out to you guys. So again, thanks for everybody. Thank you everybody for attending, and thanks Kayla again for helping on the chat.